And we're live. Hi, hello. I don't know if I should start saying my YouTube video intro for these live streams, but hi guys, what's up? It's Tahira. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hello. Don't forget to click the subscribe button down below. Join the fam. I make a lot of fun videos and live shows as well. You know, if there's one thing I do, it's diversify my content. Welcome to what is it? The third Iqra Child's live show of the year. If you're new here, the Iqra Child's is my Muslim book club. We're going on year 3. I feel like I started it right when the pandemic happened. I don't know how we got here, but yeah, we're going on year 3. Every month, read a different book by a Muslim author. We have a Discord server, which is a lot of fun. We have a Twitter that I don't really use because I'm not on Twitter, but it exists. And our book for the month of March was Usually Assumed by Laila Sabreen. So many thoughts and opinions and things to talk about. For this live show, I'm not gonna have a co-host. I actually prefer to switch it up every once in a while. And this book, I feel like because it was something I would say that I have like a personal relationship with. I was following Laila Sabreen on Twitter when I used to be active and like on book Twitter and stuff years ago when she was talking about writing the book. And she actually personally sent me this arc. So I'm like, let me just come out here. You know, it's just gonna be me. Hope y'all not bored. Hey. Oh my gosh, I didn't even who am I? Let me write in the Discord server that I'm live. Un momento, porfa. But while I'm doing that, Usually Assumed is about 3 Black Muslim girls, teenagers, I should say. And there is a recent terrorist attack. You know, I have to say with accent because I don't want anybody to take my video down. But there was a recent attack in DC by somebody who has a Muslim name. Do they ever say if he's Muslim? We're not gonna talk about that. But yeah, so there is a terrorist attack, and these 3 Muslim girls from different parts of the country are all really obviously going through a lot of emotional things, and also Islamophobia and racism in their real life. So we have Sabria, Zakat, and Fada. I guess Sabria is the main character. She starts a blog called You Truly Assumed, which is basically a place for other young Muslim women to talk about their feelings and emotions around the terrorist attacks. And so, they build a relationship. And like I said, they also are going through things in their own IRL live. So yeah, a lot of stuff happens, but that's a cute little summary. As always, leave. Tell me your thoughts on the book, and more specifically, give me your ratings. What I like to do is ask people their ratings in the beginning, and then at the end, we'll see if anything changes. Sometimes it doesn't really go too far. I think we've had people add like half a star, 0.5. It never really gets too crazy, but let me know your rating and I'll tell my rating at the end. Uno momento. I'm screaming. I already know this is going to be chaotic. Oh my gosh. Please. I already know this is going to be wild. Also, Ramadan Mubarak. I don't know why I didn't say that earlier. It's giving new Muslim. Ramadan Mubarak. Haven't seen y'all since the Sunday before Ramadan. I also may be doing Sincerely Sundays tomorrow. No promises. We'll see what happens because I'm doing Tarawih tonight. And if I am broken as I've been after Tarawih, I don't know. No promises. Oh my gosh, there's over 100 people in the Iqra Trial server. I did not know that. Wow. Who would have thunk? Okay, let me catch up. Please. It's honestly, Y'all are always embarrassing me because it's always my tier group, my really close group is always the Sincerely Sunday squad, and at least 1 to 2 of y'all like to act up every month for the book club. You're embarrassing me, like in front of all these people. Oh my god, I feel like I look very warm. Is that bad? Oh yeah. You know what's funny? If he wasn't Muslim, but he had a Muslim first name, he was black. We're the only Black Americans are the only really race of people that be naming people like Kareem and Jamal and all types of Muslim names and Amina and Khadija, and they're not Muslim. So I'm assuming he was black, which is yeah, even worse. Yeah, I don't know. Uh-huh. Right. Hey Munir too. Okay, 3.5. Yeah, this looks like the average rating. 3.5. That's nice. From you? I'm surprised. Wow. Walaikum salam. I agree. I agree. And this is rare because we don't agree with each other. But I agree. I feel like we've read worse. Not only together, but as Muslim readers, we've all read a lot worse. You know what I mean? Like, what's that book called? Internment. I'll never. How many uh terrorist kink stories is Tahir Mafi gonna write? You know what I mean? Like we've experienced worse, I feel like. So okay. Yeah, three. Okay, the fact that y'all are giving it 3.5. Okay, maybe I have hope. Maybe we all were just kind of like shook when things happened in the moment, but overall we had the same experience because everybody's kind of giving the same rating. Wow, this is the highest I've seen. Please, you can't say this every month. Please, please. Nina. Yo, I cannot. I cannot do it. Yo, please, a round of applause for Samaya because she really almost didn't get here. Like, when I tell you, I virtually dragged her hand, foot, hijab, tooth, nail, edges to finish this book. It really shouldn't be that hard considering she's also a writer. Like, honestly, like I said, every month y'all really be up here embarrassing me. Anyway, is that not what you would call what's the name of the book? What's the name of her books? She wrote 2 books basically about the same. Quickly, somebody tell me the difference between whatever Expanse of Sea. Hold on. No, where's her contemporary books? What's the difference? Now my computer already making noises. It's acting like this because I've been editing my Bridgerton video part 1 like all day. That one is already going to be really good. I'm actually having fun editing it. What was it? An emotion of great delight and a very large expanse of sea. What's the difference between those books? Quickly. Walaikum salam, Ramadan Mubarak. Please, I'm screaming. Please. Oh my gosh, I already did that. But it's basically about 3 Black Muslim girls. There's a terrorist attack in DC, and they're all on different parts of around the states. And so one girl, I think this is Sabria, she starts a blog to talk about her feelings as a Black Muslim woman, and the 2 other girls and a whole bunch of other people online join in, but they deal with Islamophobia and racism on the blog and in real life. That's like the shortest explanation I can give. Yeah, very large expanse of sea. And then the other one, like I said, whatever delight, and it's like blue with yellow. There's like, what's the difference? It's the terrorist king plus her wanting to talk about her white husband that we do not care. Why did I get me started? I'm fasting. Please. And I always feel bad about going in on her because we have the same name. Please. Girl, that book, anything, the fact that Samir Ahmed still, I'm not gonna talk bad about Samir Ahmed only because Sabah Tahir mentioned her in the back of All My Rage, and they're very close. That's it. Khalas. That's the only reason I'm gonna not go in. No, please, just don't read them. Just leave them alone, please. That's exactly what it is. Like, it's weird. Right. Right. Munira too. Munira too. You have all that time to be in my DMs being annoying about a mandem that's no I'm not going to talk about, but you didn't finish the book. And I would say I think we all can agree that the last like 20% of the book was like the best part. I would say the last 15% was like the least like cringy or awkward or weird to get through. You know what I mean? Like, how you ain't, girl, just I know you got like 3 chapters left. Right. I will say this book, it was mid. And not mid in a bad way, but like it was mid. There were moments that I definitely, and there's aspects of it that I really feel like, wow, okay, like I can imagine me reading this as a teenager. Um and even let's just say like if I was a teenager when a few years ago, um when we had like the influx of Black Lives Matter protests and things like that, then I can just, I feel like I would relate to it a bit more. But sometimes, and I talked about this in the Discord, sometimes you have to remember when you're in a different place than whatever the characters in the book are, whether that's age, race, whatever, is very hard. I mean, it can be very easy for you to just like immediately be annoyed because you just can't relate in all the same ways. So you have to actively put yourself in the mindset of a 17-year-old. I don't want to say a 17-year-old Black Muslim girl because if you're not Black, that's a little weird. No racial dolls stuff, but you know what I mean. Like you have to mentally put yourself in that space, or it's just not going to hit. Like obviously the writing, like we're grown. You know what I mean? We all only really have like 3 brain cells left after like COVID and then TikTok and all the like smut we read. Like no, none of us, no, what I mean? Like none of us are really okay. So yeah. Right. The cover is gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning. And also understanding the author herself. Like if y'all, I don't know if y'all seen what Laila Sabreen looks like. I don't want to say that she looks 5 because we could potentially be the same age. Ooh, why would y'all show me a picture of Robert Pattinson on my home screen? Oh my god, not my home screen, on my Google. Anyway, child, let me not explain myself. I don't know if y'all have ever seen her face. But look how cute she is. Like I said, we could potentially be, why is my thumb just like in the way? We could potentially be the same age, right? But look at her. You know what I mean? So when you think about the fact that she is young, she herself isn't somebody that covers. And I don't know which one of the characters she relates the most with. She could be like Sabria, who has a non-Muslim mom and a Muslim father. She could be like Zakat, who was raised like very strict, who was like first generation, like the, or she could be like Farah, who really doesn't like practice. You just don't know. And so when you apply that to the book, things I feel like make a lot more sense. Right. The reason why I will not be applying these same leeways to non-Black Muslim authors is because they don't write not one, not two, not three. Like they write nothing but Muslim contemporary books that are problematic, that directly like criticize or make fun of Islamic practices, that pander to white people and whiteness. And we also talked about this in the Discord, which I'm going to get to. The fact that this had to have a terrorist plot, like I'm not going to lie, when I heard about her writing this book, I had no idea that would even be a thing. And then for it to be published and it's like a terrorist plot was very, like, I know she had to do that to get it published. You know what I mean? She's not like SK Ali, who is older and is able to be, she's at Salam Reads, which is an imprint of Penguin. Like, you know what I mean? Like we understand these things. In regards to, like I said, non-Black Muslim authors, they don't get that leeway from me at all, because not only just in books, but like in all types of media, and y'all know I have a whole video about representation, Muslim representation. non-Black Muslims have really been like. So what we're not going to do is drag Laila Sabreen, because one thing I can say before I really get into like details of the book is, although like I mentioned, the writing could be a little cringy, okay, and I wished that the characters practiced more, and I wish the terrorist plot didn't exist. That being said, I still feel like this would count as Muslim rep because of the fact that they're Muslim in the ways that counts, which is, I would say, except for Farah, who don't really talk about it. The other two, Zakat and Sabria, are definitely, they definitely have iman, I should say. They definitely have, tawakkul and trust in Allah. They definitely rely on Allah when things are, going bad. They definitely talk about their faith. You know what I mean? And so for that aspect, I definitely can say this is Muslim rep. Does it represent everybody? No, but I can also give her props for showing a range of Muslims. Like with Zakat, we see her. She wears a hijab. Don't ask me why her arms are out, but hey, I've been there, so hey, I was a teenager wearing band t-shirts with my arms out. Zakat, we read about her praying. We read about her making wudu in a very weird way. The wudu happened. May Allah accept it. Um, then we have Sabria, who feels very strong about her faith. I feel like from a identity standpoint, like she really identifies as a Muslim. She's passionate about it. And she's the one that has a non-Muslim parent as well. And then Zakat is the one who I feel like is maybe identifies more with Islam as like a political identity, as something that, how do I explain this? Like still not forsaking it as a part of her identity, because she never says that she's not Muslim, but she doesn't necessarily practice as much as Zakat does, if that makes sense. But she's very active about Muslim liberation and empowering Muslim people. So yeah, that's my like rough, real quick thoughts about it before we get into like details. Inshallah. Is that the name of a chapter or is that a book? Literally, there is not. And like people mention all types of books when I talk about, oh, there's not Black Muslim YA rep. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not talking about indie, I'm talking about mainstream publishing. There is not a book written by a Black Muslim author about Black Muslim women, Black Muslim people, that's been mass published or there isn't one. Like full stop. Like it doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Like obviously Farida Bikaini, they like wrote God damn, what's the name of the book? Ace of Spades, but that doesn't have any Muslim characters in it. You know what I mean? Like a book like this does not exist. It's quite literally the first one. And I would love to no. The other one is the only other one I could think of, which dang, I didn't do a video about this. What's crazy is I recorded the video. I probably still have the footage. I just never uploaded it. We're not going to talk about it. The book by Yusuf Sanam, who was one of the exonerated 5. I forgot the name of that book, but it was basically like, nope, let me get it. I'm going to get the book because that was also a book I went really hard for. And there was a lot of drama with that book on the publishing side as well, because I got an ARC and they was acting real dumb. Punching the Air. There we go. That literally, those are the only 2 books that I know of. I could be wrong in regards to like the last year or 2 because I just haven't read that much YA, but Mutually Assumed and Punching the Air are the only mass-produced books by Black Muslim authors about Black Muslim characters. Period. I didn't even read what you said. Yes. Absolutely. This is one of those things where the thing itself isn't as important as what it represents, as what it means. That's not important. Laila Sabreen, if you're watching, I'm sorry. That's not what I mean. You know what I mean? And I don't feel like I don't feel like, obviously, like the best type of Muslim, I guess, without, just to be say it loosely, is like somebody that does both. But there are a lot of people who, before they start really practicing more, they're people who have a lot of faith. And so I related to that because, yes, practicing is important and we should, because Allah told us to do certain things, but you can't practice without Iman. You know what I mean? And like, so the difference between this and those other books that I read by non-Black Muslim authors is the fact that they completely don't identify with being Muslim, and they look at the term being Muslim as a cultural identity. That's something that they can openly like ridicule and not really care about. Like they really just be like, I'm Muslim because I'm Bengali. I'm Muslim because I'm Arab, and it's a part of my culture, and like nothing more than that. I don't feel like it's a surprise that this book had people who were still people that identified as Muslims, that cared about being Muslim, that cared about being known as Muslims and defended Islam. Um, because Black people, I said this all the time, we tend to be very spiritual. And I said this in my Muslim representation video, and a lot of non-Black people were upset in the comments. I really do not care. It's just the tea. As a Black American Muslim whose family has been here, been Muslim, when 9/11 happened or whatever, when the non-Blacks was ripping off their hijab and saying their name was Sarah and Summer and Mo, Black American Muslims, who all of these characters are except for one, hijabs were still on. You know what I mean? Kufis were still being worn. Those were still being worn. And so because we don't have that same mentality of wanting to assimilate into Western society or pandering to white people, like I'm just going to be honest, yeah, their books read very different than a book like this. Like Laila Sabreen, I feel like if I met her, she was like, yeah, I'm Muslim. Are you dumb? Whether she practices to an extent that we feel like is okay or not, like it's just different. The cultural implications are just different. You know what I mean? Please listen, I'm trying to, girl. And that's really, we're going to get into this. Like I said, this is a book that represents more than necessarily like the book itself. It's also inspired me to want to write more because it's a good start. It's hard to be the first, to like trailblaze, but somebody got to do it, and it don't have to be perfect. Sarah J. Maas is on her 30th series, and like 15 out of the 30 books she wrote are bad. You know what I mean? Like Cassandra Clare been writing about the Shadow Hunters since I was a fetus. You know what I mean? I believe so. Right. But the wudu was being done. You know what I mean? In the other books, they don't even know what wudu is. Please. Precisely. For a lot of them, that's all it is. And like I said, I'm not saying one is better than the other. I can just say that I relate more to this, and I think that this type of representation is more helpful than the other ones we've seen. And we're not going to talk too much about All My Rage because I shouldn't have finished it in 3 days like I did. But that's another book where I see that the Muslim rep, a lot of people feel weird about, and I might do a follow-up to the Muslim representation video. Somebody remind me to talk about that later. Do you think it's hard for novel authors to get published if their plots don't appeal? Yes, absolutely, 100%. And I would say that somebody like S.K. Ali is the exception. Like think about S.K. Ali in the sea of the Tahira Mafis, the Samir Ahmeds, and all the other books that I've read. A lot of books for the Iqra trials by Muslim authors that are just, you know what I mean? Tahir and Bloom, like think about S.K. Ali and Uzma Jalaluddin, like the exception. I haven't read any of, I think her name is Adiba Jaguar, I believe, the one who writes like queer Muslim books. I haven't read any of her books. I don't know what the Muslim rep is like. I know a lot of people like the queer rep, but they are the exceptions. They are not the rule. It's definitely harder. And even when I think about All My Rage, which I'm not getting into too much, I think a lot of the reasons why Sabaa Tahir was able to write as much Muslim rep as she did, or faith as she did, is because of the fact that she's Sabaa Tahir and she's already written her other shit. You know what I mean? Right. Exactly. Oh. Thank you. Yeah, that was the book. Right. Not y'all all knowing punching the air. Yes. Exactly. Who's messaging me? Please, not a No, but literally, I didn't even realize they came out a year ago. Exactly. I definitely agree. When I was younger, I probably would eat this up. Like, this is a book that I probably would give to my younger sister to read. Especially the moments where she was talking about, where they were talking about feeling like they have to split up their identity, and feeling that people can't identify with them, whether it's from the Black community or the Muslim community. Like, coming to terms and at peace with your identities is very important. And like I said, any type of practice or strengthening of Islam or being more vocal or whatever, or being a better Muslim comes from being comfortable within. And so I like that this is, I feel like, a start. Whereas the other books, they really, like, the only thing you would know about anybody being Muslim is the fact that it's mentioned. And can we acknowledge the fact that people, like, in modern publishing, will use Muslim as a catchphrase, like to what's it called? As like clickbait to get Muslim readers, but don't let the book be nothing Islamic at all. And I do feel like to a certain extent it's a bit problematic, because when you read these books by Muslim authors, I don't know how this got into a whole conversation about Muslim rep, but here we are. When you read these books by these Muslim authors that are very questionable, it reflects how they practice Islam, i.e. Tahir Mafi and a white man. You know what I mean? And it's not saying there's not a place for that, but in that stance, a Muslim who doesn't wear hijab, who is either Desi or Arab, who I would say Arab. Well, actually, I've seen more Desi Muslim books than anything. But I would say, well, Desi or Arab, and who doesn't necessarily practice, doesn't wear hijab or whatever, they have a higher level of privilege than other Muslims. And that obviously comes across in their books. Like, you have to acknowledge that your book about, give me a name. I don't know, your book about Brother Faisal not really practicing, feeling like his parents are dumb strict, and then having a white girl named Sarah as a girlfriend, like, is going to be pushed first before something that's going to be about, like, Khadijah and Ahmed are trying to get married. You know what I mean? Like you have to acknowledge the privilege that you have in that space. And also that it's really convenient that your Muslim experience co-signs or co-aligns with white supremacy and white people and Islamophobia and like this, like, I don't want to say liberal because Muslims like really weird about that, and I don't identify with any political party. But with this watered down version of Islam that's Western appropriate. Precisely. You know what I mean? And then also when you get into conversations about like to be white passing, like literally, even when you think about some of these names, like Sada really becomes Sarah, and she take off that scarf, they might think she's Italian. Like, they'll think she's Israeli and be like, oh, shalom, like, girl, you know, please. Yeah. Yes. And so I feel like if there was like a part 2, if she wrote her next book, I feel like she could really learn a lot from SK Ali. And even the way that Sabreen wrote On My Rage. Why do I keep talking about this book? The fact that I have it right next to me, I was like prepared. Girl, we're going to be here for a long time next month talking about it. Well, in a few weeks, because so many things. And I left my review on Goodreads. I think I have my Goodreads link below, or for y'all, it's like one of these places, wherever the Goodreads link is, and people feel some type of way about the Muslim rep. And I listen. One of the one person who I think she commented on I think it was Azanta's review, and she said that she's not like bothered by Muslim characters like drinking. What she would prefer is them acknowledging that it's a sin. And so I guess for a lot of people, well, I definitely can relate to that. If we have more books like that, more conversations like that about acknowledging that this is something somebody's struggling with versus being very comfortable sinning, or not even acknowledging that this is something that would be seen as weird, would be important. What's this book I read for the Iqra trials last year? I don't remember the name of it. But the author, well, it was by Alicia Ray or whatever, and the author made a hijabi and she had like a V-neck shirt on the cover and she had to redo it. Homegirl literally married somebody and he's Hindu. And there's no conversation, even though her parents are very strict about marriage, there's no conversation about the fact that she's a Muslim woman married talking to a non-Muslim man. That's not realistic. Like, even if that is your unique experience, that's not something in the global Muslim populace that's like a normal thing. And I think when you don't have these conversations, people aren't aware. Like, there's a lot of people in the Iqra trials who aren't Muslim, and they have spoken about the fact that they joined because they didn't realize the Muslim rep they were reading were problematic. People talk about Zakiya a lot. Yes, I would definitely agree it's not for everyone. I feel like Noor and Salahuddin were like imperfect Muslims. They were Muslim. You know, like literally, I wouldn't even add another category. Like, they were Muslim. Like, full stop. They were Muslims going through trauma, you know, and their faith was tested. I was like, this. It feels real normal to me, because even the most quote unquote religious person, Allah tests you with something and it throw your whole life out of whack. So the fact that people are feeling weird about the Muslim rap, I mean, somebody was selling drugs. We're not gonna talk about that. We saving that for next month. Yeah, right. Or it's the same thing about when there's like black characters, but they're not culturally black. And I mentioned how we were talking about Omari just a little bit in the Discord, and somebody talked about how they, I think it was it Arena, talked about how much they loved Sister Khadija, and I was like, Sister Khadija compared to what's that book I read earlier that I read a few weeks ago? Un momento. Can my computer shut up? Girl, stop crying. Like, relax. You're being very good. Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher, which is written by a white woman about a black woman. Her character is black racially, but she's not culturally black at all. It was written like a white woman writing a white woman. Like, that's it. Whereas in All My Rage, Sister Khadija was written like a black woman. So it's the same thing. Somebody could say, and they've been saying Terms and Conditions is like, you know, it's a black woman, BIPOC, whatever, black woman interracial relationship. She's not black to me. I'm so sorry. Like, if she wouldn't feel comfortable saying, you're not black. Like, I mean, to me, it's not the black experience that I necessarily identify with. And especially for her to be with a white man, we're gonna leave. That's a whole nother conversation. Child, I feel bad for the people watching the playback, because I don't know how this became a whole conversation about Muslim representation. But I think that's just because, like I said, the book in itself, which we're going to get to, what it represents is a lot. It's a lot. Yes. And that also goes into why they be so mad at black Muslims who are especially practicing, because they're just like, I gave up my Muslim identity for whiteness, and here you are practicing and being unapologetic about it. And that makes me feel threatened. Girl. Did she say he was Muslim? Did she say he was Muslim? I never heard of it. I'm not saying she didn't. I'm just like, that's very interesting. Very interesting. Mm. Mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Please. For years. Yes, exactly. They were confused themselves because they're Muslim. They were like, what are we doing? Like, conversation for another day, but absolutely. I was kind of having this conversation with Nadira about the whole Tarawih prayer in Times Square that happened a few days ago. And it's just very weird. You can tell the people who do not experience racism, and racism and Islamophobia are not always the same thing. Um, and it's really because you can take away the Islamic stuff about you. There's no, like, you don't experience any like real racism. A lot of people. I'm not going to say everybody. Obviously, I will say like South Asians definitely experience racism, but specifically like in the U.S., take away Islam. What do people say? It's not a conversation. Conversation for another day, but yes. Oh, period. Not please, please. Girl, yeah. Terms and conditions was problematic. Okay, so I think it's so weird how my view numbers are going like up and down. Like it was just at 20, now it's at 8. What's T? Ooh, did I hurt somebody feeling? That's what I do. Okay, so let's get into like the book, the details of the book. So please let me know who your favorite character was, or rank your favorite characters. I feel like we all have the same ranking. For me, number one was Sabria. Number two was no. For me, number one was Farah. Number two was Sabria. Number three was Zakat. Literally the way they're standing. This is this is my rating. Farah, Bree, Zakat. That's oh really? Yeah, maybe it's just being weird. Who knows? That's my rating. Um, in regards to the personality of the girls, like I mentioned, Farah isn't one that practices a lot. And she was surprisingly the one that I related to. I can't, okay, I would say I liked her more, but I would say I related to her and Sabria almost equally. I liked Farah more because of her attitude. Like she was she was giving a hood book. Like, you know what I mean? Like she was really she was with it. Like she was with it. I don't know. That's really what I loved about her. Her energy for me was a black experience that I was very familiar with. It matched mine. Like she was the one who was like, "What's up? Like we fighting with C." I loved Farah. Also she was um damn, I'm gonna be very loud. She, was the daughter of a single mother, and she basically helped. I don't want to hello. I don't want to say raise, but because she doesn't have any siblings, but basically she had to be the other adult in her household very early, and her mom kind of like raised each other. They have a weird codependent relationship. Also her mom, they live kind of like, I don't want to say in poverty, but they're not balling, I should say. Um, I know. Always in the cut. Always in the cut. Yeah, I just feel like that's just the girls that get it, get it. Oh, that would make sense. You put Zakat first. We have to hear. We have to hear it. Yeah. We have to have this conversation. You just gotta read it next time. Stop playing. Y'all be playing games. Read the book next time. Period. Mm. Two for Zakat? No. I know why. I think I know why. A lot of people are talking about they related to her personality a bit more, but I'm gonna go back into explaining them. So Farah, basically, her POV, like I said, she comes from a low income household. It's just her and her mom. They literally, like, I think they share a room. Um, and she doesn't really practice. Like she doesn't mention Islam at all. Um, other than her what is it with Layla Sabreen and these Muslim paraphernalia? She had she had like a ring from her mom that had like a crescent and a star on it, and that was the most Muslim things got. Other than her being like politically Muslim, she had a boyfriend, and so she was trying to figure out. Her boyfriend was a year older than her, going to college, and she was trying to figure out if their relationship could last long distance. I also related when I was a boyfriend, conflict for another day. But her being like avoidant and being hesitant to love and certain relationships, I definitely related to. Also, a big part of her point of view in the story was her father, who she didn't have a close relationship with, um, lived in Boston. And so the summer before I think she started her senior year, or before she went to college, he wanted her to go out there and spend the summer with him. So she's getting reacquainted with her father and his maybe white wife. I don't know if she was white. They didn't say she was white. Her name was very white, and her attitude was very Karen. And I'm like, if you gonna see, is she a white woman? Yes or no? Okay. Um, So yeah. So she's spending time with her father, and her father has a new family. And then she's also big into like tech. And so, in regards to You Truly Assume, she is the one that does all of the like digital techie side of things. And she's also going to like some tech classes in Boston. She meets groups of Muslim girls, or Muslim people, I should say, and gets involved in a protest because as after the terrorist attack, there was like a fire in a mosque in Boston, I believe, is what happened, and so a few people died, and so she went to a protest for, why did I say it like that? I don't know. She went to a protest for one of the girls that passed away. Yeah, I liked Farah's energy. She was just with it, like she was just with it. I mess with her. If Farah had as much like internal faith, I feel like as Brie, and as much practicing as Zakat, I would feel like Farah, like you can't beat her. Like that's my girl. That's my girl. Please don't do that. Yeah. Yeah, she was trying her best to be like, yeah, I'm an Islamer. I understand. You know what I mean? I love that. Do you watch my videos too, Uncle Tupac? That's funny. I don't know why I don't think about that. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I could see how a lot of people felt that way. Yeah, for sure. Oh, period. So then we get to I'm sorry, please. Please. Please, por favor. It was a cat. It was a cat. Um, so let's talk about Zakat. We'll get to Brie later because I really feel like Brie is the main character. Um, oh, that's so nice. I appreciate you. You should leave a comment every once in a while and not be like a ghost lurker. You know, even though I know that's where you're comfortable. You know what I mean? Yeah, it definitely was Zakat. So let's talk about Zakat. Zakat is little hijabi shorty right here. Can I just say that I was a little confused that her parents were um I wouldn't say they were strict. I would say that they were like hovering. You know what I mean? Because she was going to parties. Now, the nature of the parties were very like tame. It wasn't anything crazy, but she was going to parties. She walked around with her arms out. You know what I mean? Um, she was the one who was the most practicing. She went to an Islamic school. She was very close with she was attended her masjid quite often, and she was very close with her community at her masjid. She's from a small town in Georgia, and like people were talking about in the chat, she wants to find independence. She's really big on art. Her family are she comes from an immigrant family, but they don't. This is another thing that was weird about the book. Like I don't know. Well, maybe it's the same thing because I'm reading the arc and I didn't know if Homeboy was really Muslim or not, the terrorist guy. I don't know where Zakat's parents are from, even though they mentioned that she's an immigrant, like her parents were immigrants, and I'm just like, but from where? De donde? You know what I mean? It was very little stuff like that was very weird writing wise. It's like, okay, right. Um, Zakat is an artist, and so in her arc, basically what's going on is she working at this bookstore, and she's applying for colleges. She wants to go to Howard, and her parents want her to stay where she's at, and so they don't even allow her to join You Truly Assumed. But she joins it anyway, and she's handling all of the art, and she uses art as a way to express herself. But also, she's working at this bookstore, and there's this white girl who was related to one of the white boys in town, and she met this white girl before when they were younger, and the white girl basically called her a towel head terrorist or whatever. And so now that they're a little bit older, Zakat is really not feeling her, but her best friend, whose mom runs the bookstore, was like, let's just give her a shot. Let's be open minded. Um, And she deals with, I feel like, well, I don't want to say the more obvious because, like I said, in Farah's point of view, somebody did die, but she's dealing with constant Islamophobia in a sense of like, I feel like a lot of people would relate to what she's going through because it's very juvenile in the sense of like, people criticizing her, juvenile as in young, not like dumb, but like, yeah, people criticizing her, calling her names, whatever. The graffiti situation, the just like the weird stuff that I feel like would happen on a teenage high school level in regards to Islamophobia. I feel like Zakat went through. She had a lot of internal conflict about not wanting to disappoint her parents, but wanting to live her own life. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was vague for no reason. Like, girl, just say what's going on. Like, please, I beg. Not war, please. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I feel bad because she's an only child. I can't imagine having hovering parents, um, and then being an only child. Like, so it's basically was double team all the time. Her mom was very emotionally erratic. Was like, no, Zakat, no, and then her dad was like, yeah, no. I was like, God, um, kind of weird. But I will say that Zakat's another reason I appreciate her point of view is because she definitely represents a lot of Muslim people's experiences, specifically like Muslim women, Muslim femmes as well, um, and being, sheltered and wanting to your parents wanting to have a really close eye on you and being kind of sheltered away from the world to the point where it negatively impacts you. And so I definitely feel like a lot of people would relate to her story of seeking independence, of even doing things behind her parents' back. And even though there was a weird moment where she admitted to her parents about you truly assume, because girl, she was the crybaby. It was her. Anytime something was going on the blog and they was like, you towel head, muzzy trash, she was crying, girl. She was going through it. And I'm just like, I feel like, okay, I can't say that. I was gonna say no matter how sheltered you are in your black/Muslim community, and she says that her community is not very black, they're very Muslim though, which is weird. This is Georgia, right? I was gonna say that no matter how sheltered you are still a black Muslim woman, so you definitely experience, isms. But then I think about East Africans. No shade to any in the chat, specifically Somalis, who have a lot of anti-blackness, and a lot of them are very naive to anti-black racism in the world, specifically if they live in the West, because of the fact that they live in very tight-knit communities. So for them, their reality is everybody is Somali. Everybody is East African where I'm from. Everybody, everybody goes to the like that's just their experience. So I guess I can see that, but for somebody who's not in that type of environment, it's kind of hard to understand why she was so surprised that people were being racist and Islamophobic. Like it threw me quite a little bit. Also, I have a very hard time with characters, specifically like young female characters who are written as emotional, because it's something that I struggle with, but I acknowledge the importance of reading about Black women being emotional. It's sad to say, but we're not like humanized in the same way that other people are. So it was nice to see, in theory, her being emotional and crying and being hurt by what she goes through. Even though I feel like, girl, like, what's that boy named Chad? I would have like, I'm his best friend, his cousin Lucy. Yeah, I would have knocked her upside the head. I would have beat her up in the in between the bookshelves. Like, are you dumb? Like, I'm not playing with you. Please. And so another thing that happened in her point of view was this is really some muzzy stuff. Her school had a book of secrets, and all the seniors would write a secret anonymously, and all the seniors would write a secret in it before they graduated. And so the white boys, they stole it. And even that, they were like, like, she was so naive. She was like, who took it? She's like, I have an idea about who took it, but I can't say for sure who took it. When has a white person ever been accused of doing something wrong to a non-white person and it's been wrong? Like, when? If she were to accuse Lucy of taking it and Lucy didn't take it, I would still say she took it. Like, I don't, girl, she was confusing me. She's like, oh my God, like, who's it? And her, okay, you know who really triggered me is like, I didn't even realize the cat's point of view really triggered me as well when it came to her friend. What was her friend's name? Tessney. Her name started with an A. I thought that was so funny that their friendship thing was like, we're A to Z. I'm like, so you've read SK Ali. I see it. Afreen or something. Her friend really triggered me because her friend was like, we have to give Lucy a chance. We have to be open-minded to cat. Like, and of course, when situations like that happened, that was my relationship with people in high school. They were just never loyal to me. And so it's not about, thank you. It's not about the fact you can't be friends with other people, but it's like, why are you friends with other people at the expense of me? Like, Afreen and Lucy was sitting there having lunch and Zakat was nowhere to be found. That's shady. And then when Lucy took the thing, Afreen was also so surprised. I'm like, girl, I don't like that. It really triggered me because that was how my relationships were. Like, people were just not, they just didn't hold it down for me. And that was really hard for me to read about because I wanted to sock Afreen in the face. Like, because like when you're comfortable, when you're done befriending people who don't like you, you're gonna come talk. No, I didn't like that. It was very frustrating to read about. And I wish she really held her accountable because then I can say, okay, that serves a purpose. You know, I mean, I guess did Afreen apologize? I don't even remember, Joe. But honestly, I feel like that was very muzzy. That's very muzzy, especially if you're going to a Muslim school. Like, I didn't go to a Muslim school. I went to madrasa like on the weekends for a little bit when I was young. But because we're just suppressed in a lot of ways, culturally and community wise, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if seniors were like, let me write some stuff that I did. You know, now that nobody knows it's me and I'm not gonna be here no more. Absolutely. I feel like that was the most realistic part. I could see that. Mm, no, facts. Give Layla Sabreen her cookies. Give her credit. That's one thing I will say. None of the characters were boy crazy. Also, I think all the boys they were black. Allah Akbar. None of the girls seemed boy crazy, even if they had situations with boys. Like, Farah didn't even know. Farah was about to break up with her boyfriend. That's how much anti she was. She was basically a misandrist. Like, she was like, "Girl, you going to school? Deuces, bye." And even Bree, which we want to get to her in a little bit. Bree's situation with what's his name? Hayat. I was like, he's the one that has like a feminine name in my head because my sister's name is Hayat. When she was messing around with Homeboy, is that his name? Or am I bugging? Yeah. When she was messing around with, well, not messing around, but when they started flirting or whatever, he literally was on the list of people she would never talk to. Like, none of them were boy crazy. I don't think they paid boys any mind, to be honest. I was like, girl, shut the hell up. Shut up. No. It was just like, you're dumb. You know? Death punny get them like dead, 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 dead. Like, please. I guess, child. I don't buy it. Lucy's like, oh my god. Oh my god. He hacked my page. I don't understand. How did There's only one person in this town who knows how to do graffiti. And you mean to tell me nobody knew that he did graffiti, a slur on the side of the bookstore? And Zakat had an idea, but she wasn't firm in it. He's the only person that knows how to do graffiti. Then they stole the book. I'm just like, are we trying to be muzzies here? You know, not wanting to accuse somebody of something until you have proof. I have the proof. You did it. Next caller, girl. literally, y'all. Literally, it was so frustrating because why don't you trust me? Like, why waste our time? Like, why? And the thing is, it's not even that you want to be okay or cordial with Shorty. They're trying to be buddy best friends. You're not just talking about saying hi. Like I said with Lucy, you talking about having lunch with her and inviting her to your house. And Afreen invited Lucy to work. I think to work at the store, and didn't tell Zakat until Zakat came in for the first day of work. I'm sorry. I've known you since diapers. No, no. Have you on friends in quotations? Because what is that? I, I don't know. Maybe he went on her. He went on your phone when you weren't looking, and like an email is so weird. Like this is 20. They were in. This is 2021 or whatever. Like an email. Come on. Ah, okay. I'm just like, girl, child. So that's the cat. Then we're gonna get to Bree Bree. Bree Bree is our main girl. In the middle. Um, Bree. Oh yes, she did. She said something about her hijab when she was younger, and it made Zakat feel weird ever since. And her cousin is her cousin Connor Chad, I don't know, who was very open about being anti-Muslims and being very Islamophobic to Zakat. Like, why are we even surprised? Like, I don't even, girl. And it's like Lucy was staying with her cousin at his house. I'm never going to associate with you because your cousin is sitting there calling me a towel head, like in your face every day. Like, no. Um, and then her talking about, oh, he's my family. I I got people in my family that's crackheads. Like, what does that even mean? Like, come on, please. Oh, was it Asha? I promise. Please, I can see it now. I can see it now. She catches that scene when he was playing soccer, and she walked up to him, and she was like, "Asher, I have some." Hold on, I gotta get distracted. Asher, I have something to say to you. You know, when you called me a towel head, jigaboo, I didn't like that. Okay, and you may not. No, I'm talking, Asher. Okay, I'm standing up for myself. I have something to say. Okay, and you're gonna listen to me, Asher. Okay, because when you sitting here and you're stuck in this town and you end up sleeping with your cousin because y'all are nasty and incestuous, I'm gonna be at the top. I'm gonna be at Howard, Harvard, whatever. I'm going to college. I'm an educated black woman. And then next thing you know, listen, Asher, it would have been like, the white boy is too slow to speak. And the next thing you know, he would have been getting closer in her face, and she was like, what are you so close to me for? Back up, Asher. And he'd be like, it would literally say, he tucks her hijab behind her ear. Yeah, that'll be. And the next thing you know, they're kissing. And then watch, they're kissing. And she's like apprehensive, right? And she's like, I know I shouldn't do this, but like it just feels so good, right? And so they're making out, and then she backs up, she pushes him away, and he's just like, you know, I've always had a crush on you. It's the reason I treated you like this. It's the reason I was Islamophobic and like made you want to kill yourself and rip your hijab off and like choke yourself with your hijab and like hang yourself with me. You know, it's because I'm in love with you. And then he would say, you don't need to wear this anymore. Slides it off right. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I am wrong. Hurry. Tell me. Period. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Please. Please. And then they're gonna skip together. She's gonna bring him to the masjid. I'm so sorry for doing graffiti. I really just have a hijabi kink, and I was trying to get Zakat's attention. But yeah, you know that TikTok, and the girl was like, "My name is so and so, and you know I'm trans, and this is my friend. This is my friend, and she's an ally." He's like, "Say ally, ally." Literally, he'd be like, yeah, I really just had a kink for zakat, and now that I am a Muslimic, a Muslimic, Islamer, Muslimanity, Muzzy, ally, y'all have the right to fast and pray. Like, I'm disgusted. Please, please, like, it's sick. It's sick. Please, please. Tell your mafia, if you're watching, don't write it. Let it go. Don't do it. Please, please. Ransom ain't even that cute. Cut it out. Cut it out. Please. Listen. Just at me. Just at me. You know what I mean? Just at me in the book. Put me in the put me either in the dedication or the acknowledgments. That's all I say. That's all I ask. Uno artista. You hear me? Listen. Listen, I see it so clearly now. Honestly, that would have been a good plot twist. That would have been a good plot. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if she gave it to him and she was in love with Asher, and the next time Zakat saw Afreen had her hijab off, and she's like, "This is my man." Black gonna say a character. Oh my god, that would, girl, I would have. That's a book. I'm sorry. That would have me like, please. Yo, please. No, honestly, I don't think anybody could write a spinoff about You Truly Assume or fan fiction because she'll just write it. Like the book needs a lot of like help. She would really just take it. You know what I mean? I'm so would have ate it up. Okay. On to our main girl. On to our main girl, Sabria. Don't forget the little Allah necklace. You peep it? Allahu Akbar. Please give her props. Yeah, give it to her. Um, Bree is basically our main character, and I loved Bree. She's the creator of You Truly Assumed. It happened on act. Is it? I hate when this happens. I'm so sorry. It happened on accident. She meant to just like use it because she was running out of space on her in her physical journals. Girl, you know she got it from mom. Ain't they having a 30% off Eid sale? Even though all of their stuff could possibly be found on AliExpress. Wait, they took it off of the final version of the book? Can you imagine? Did they? Did they take it off? Hold on. Am I bugging? Can you imagine? Oh my god. Oh no, it's on there. It's on there. I was about to cry. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Oh my god. Oh my god. I would have, yo. Oh, girl, I was about to be like, can you imagine? Like, we're already fighting for the Muslim rep. Like, por favor. Now me finding out that Laila Sabreen has been doing interviews with other Muslim readers on the internet. I told y'all I was maybe gonna have her come on here, but the way y'all was talking about her book, I was like, I can't have her on here and roast her on camera. You know, save her dignity, especially during Ramadan. Please, I can't do that to her. Okay, so we have Bree, and she, like I said, is the creator of You Truly Assume. She comes from an interfaith household. Her mom is not Muslim. Her mom is Christian. Her dad is Muslim. I talk about this in the Discord. I always wonder in situations like that, like, like I don't know, I guess because I've grown up seeing interfaith relationships, and they never really look like this, I should say. Like the idea that Sabreen, not Sabreen, Sabria was, she was practicing and to an extent, and she was, clearly Muslim, like to the point where she negated her mom's experience because her mom wasn't Muslim. She literally was like, "You can't relate. You're not Muslim. You don't understand what we go through." Like it was a very clear stance that I'm not of whatever deen like my mother's on. So I just wonder like how she was raised to be Muslim and not have any Christianity at all, because her mom is still somebody who I can tell is like spiritual, God conscious. I don't know how to describe her. But yeah, her mother's not like an atheist. Actually, like her mother, I feel like seems very secure in her Christianity. So I don't know. It's very interesting to read about. Yeah, because in real life, like okay, in real life, at least when a Muslim guy is married to, it depends. At least from what I've seen in my communities, I've seen Muslim men get married to non-Muslim women, and this is why I tell all of my non-Muslim friends, and I've been saying it since high school: don't talk to Muslim men, because right now Mo is going by Muhammad. I mean, Muhammad is going by Mo, and y'all are drinking together, and y'all are out at the club, and do. Y'all get married, you get pregnant, and y'all get married. He's putting a hijab on you and a raya on you. You're not allowed to leave the house, and you're gonna have 8 kids. So that's one. That's one. So I'm surprised that the mom still didn't convert, because that's what I've seen in real life. And then two, I haven't seen this much, but I'm aware that there's a reality where the child is a little bit of both. Like even if they are Muslim, they still were raised like celebrating Christmas and stuff like that. So I don't know. Very interesting. And I know somebody mentioned like, oh, like they follow the dominant religion, but like dominant based on what? Because you can say like, oh, like a father, he's the dominant present in the household, but like a mother raises the kids. So I don't know. I was just very confused about that. But Sabria's mom is Christian, her dad is Muslim. Precisely. I've been telling people this since high school, like, and stay away from them. If y'all ever watched that season of Love and Hip Hop New York, it was so crazy. They literally filmed it at my masjid, please. And it was a guy, I think his name was Consequence, and he was talking to a girl, and she was a Muslim, and they were talking for mad long, and I think they had kids, and they talk. She wants to get married, and he's just like, bro, if we get married, you're putting a hijab on, and our kids ain't celebrating Christmas. They literally went to my masjid, and my imam. They're talking to my imam, and he was. The girl is like, I don't understand why they can't celebrate Eid and Christmas, and imam is like, we don't do that. Like we Black Muslims, like, nigga, what are you talking? We don't do that. Christmas what? Feliz Navidad. Are you dumb? Like, no, like we don't do that. It was a hot mess. Girl, because it was based in New York, and so a lot of New York rappers are Muslim. So yeah, when she was beefing with him, he went to the imam to have a conversation, and it was literally my imam. Hilarious. I remember that. I'm really sad because that imam is like, that masjid is no longer Black owned. It's no longer a Black masjid. It's sad. Yeah, I don't understand how that works. But Bree was also a dancer, and that is the part of her POV that I enjoyed. I wouldn't say the most, but I really, really enjoyed it. For the what is on my face? Lord have mercy. I'm so sorry. Anyway, for those who don't know, I literally grew up dancing. I was dancing from the ages like 3 to 16. I was in a performing arts high school. I was professionally trained. I went to a really prestigious dance school, whatever, So I really related with her, and it definitely like fed my inner child, because I stopped dancing. For one, I didn't want to do it like as a career, so I kind of had to stop when I went to high school. This is how you know it's nice weather in Philadelphia, because the bikes are out. But a large part of why I also stopped dancing, other than like also not being able to afford it, is because of the fact that my body is the way that it looks, and there was no way that I could professionally be a something like ballet and other types of dance like that, with the body type that I had. There are Muslim and like covered ballerinas right now. I know a few off the top of my head. They don't have bodies like mine. And so that internal conflict, or even the external nonsense that I would get about my body and not being covered enough and da 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 da, I couldn't deal with that. So yeah, I kind of, it was really beautiful to read about her being in love with dance and being a dancer, because I related to all of those feelings and all of the things that she was describing about her experience in the dance world. I related to, like, me going to a really prestigious like ballet school. I went to Alvin Ailey, and my family, we were poor, like we didn't have money. So like, I was the Muslim one. I was also, I will say, the black one. I will say that I definitely faced colorism as well, because it was in Manhattan. A lot of the girls were mixed. They had like white dads who had a lot of money, or really white moms who put them in ballet, and they literally were like, imagine younger Gossip Girls, like just on the Upper East Side, privileged with their little tutus and their 2C hair that's slicked properly up in a bun, and my nigga Naps was like not doing that. And so I was the one who, I got all of my dance stuff out of the lost and found bin. Me and my mom would go to, it would take us like 2 hours to get to my dance school. And yeah, I remember a lot of my dance teachers telling me to, like, I wasn't properly in my uniform. I was dressed inappropriately to suck in this and to move that. And, I'm not as, another, I think what her teacher says is like polished, or you stand out too much. It was definitely an experience that I grew up with and I related a lot with. So I loved her point of view. Also, Sabria was an older sister. I think her sister was younger than her. She was also in like some type of activity, maybe volleyball or something. Um, she's the only one who's in DC. Oh, I didn't mention. Oh yeah, I did mention Zakat is from Georgia. Her friend was a Muslim. Ciao. Ciao. No, not really. Other than like doing like dance workouts, not really. It's something that I really want to get into. Yes, the infamous Allah Nicholas. Yeah, I want to get back into dancing, inshallah. Me and my therapist are currently working on that. um, and especially now that I'm in Philly, I definitely could do it, because there's a lot of places that are like women only, and so I don't have to like really worry about like modesty. So Sabrina's older sister. I think her sister played volleyball. Mm. Let me find out. Okay, you're absolutely right. Like recitals, I was that girl. I tell people all the time. Like when I was younger, I was so confident. I was so outspoken. I was like, I had no inhibitions about anything. And so recitals, I was like shining. Like I would get up on them stage and like go off. Like I had no care in the world. Like I was bussing. I did not care. Oh my gosh. Not a muzzy. I think it was lacrosse. I know. Yeah, I definitely want to do something real low key, like just for me, um, just because I love doing it. And it's just also, I feel like would be really helpful with me getting re in tune with my body and whatever. But anyway, so Sabria, like I said, she starts to truly assumed, and quickly, literally after the first blog post, it kind of goes viral. And so she are like 3 days or like 1 week into her having you truly assumed, she got Zakat and Farah to be um, on the team. I'm like, girl, I've been an influencer for years. I've been a full-time influencer for almost 2 years, and I don't have a team. Like I don't got nobody. She had a tech person and a graphic designer. I was like, in a week on a blog. That's the only thing that like threw me, because it was a blog. It wasn't like a YouTube. I really feel like this book would have hit if she was an influencer, if she was a YouTuber. It girl, even if she was streaming on Twitch, I don't know, like something that really makes it relate to our age group. This is why, girl, let me see how old Laila Sabreen is, because she millennial, like blog. This is WordPress, like Tumblr. Come on now. I don't know how old she is, but I think she's young. Oh, she's currently in school. Oh, that's cute. Eh, yeah, I was like, I'm missing something. And they barely understood how to use it. I don't know. I don't know. As an influencer, yeah, I was confused. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was confused. And it would have hit, it would have landed if she was an influencer. Or at least a YouTuber, I would say. Like a YouTuber, because you can still have comments, interact with people. Okay. Um, so in Sabria's point of view, she's the one that lives in DC. So I think her mom, the bombing was at a train station, and her mom I think uses that train station to get home. Her mom like works in a government building or something, and so literally from like her first chapter in the book, um, she's dealing with the terrorist attack in a more head-on way than anybody else, I should say. Um, she's a kind of, I wouldn't even say she's as traumatized as the other girls. More so, I feel like it gives her like strength, I should say. Whereas the cat was very emotional and Farah was very angry. I feel like Sabria's response to the terrorist attack was like, let me find strength. Let me do more. She was volunteering to help people that were negatively impacted by the terrorist attack with someone, what's his name? Hayat, I believe. Um, Salams. I'm screaming. Yeah, at all. Like it was weird. Oh my god. But yeah, so I feel like she used it as a source of strength for her. She was volunteering, like I said, with this guy Hayat, who she ended up having a little thingy thing at the end of the book with. That was kind of random, but like I said, I like the fact that none of the girls in the book were really gung ho about the guys. Like they were just like living their life, minding their business, and like that's that. Um, her dad's boss was one of the organizers of the volunteer groups. And it was very obvious, this is a big spoiler alert, it was very obvious that when well, it wasn't a surprise to me that as soon as she got to the volunteer group, her dad's boss, literally one of the first things he said to her was, oh, I didn't know y'all were Muslim. And the dad's boss immediately like knew about You Truly Assumed, like was reading the blog post every week. Weird. And then next thing you know, they start getting hate comments, and then the blog actually gets linked on this like alt-right site about like blogs that go against like freedom of speech and we got to keep America, 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 America. I don't know, whatever. What are you talking about? And that's where like the site was linked, and then they got all these trolls or whatever, people telling them like, "Oh, did you kill yourself?" Muslim hoe. That was my favorite. Oh, no, to lie. Muslim hoe. That was you had me. I feel like that's about to be our new name for the Discord. Like that. I mean, we. Um, precisely. Precisely. It was just. It was. It was. That's what I was like. I was literally just laughing. Like it was so weird. It was so weird. I was like, okay, right. Yeah, as one should. Like, what I will say is that as someone that gets a lot of, I wouldn't say I get a lot of hate comments or ignorant comments on TikTok, and that's not necessarily from non-Muslims. I get it from Muslims because Muslims on TikTok. That was the last live stream. They're not well. As someone who gets a lot of ignorant comments, I definitely related to the different range of emotions between the girls. Like Farah wanting to fight, Zakat being like, "Oh my god," like Shorty just like, and then Sabria kind of feeling like, I think Sabria was like, let it stay, but it was still like affecting her, but she just didn't know what to do with those emotions. It's real. I relate to it, especially on social media to an extent. The things you create take on a life of their own. And so sometimes, like, you know, if there's a video, I wouldn't necessarily say that if I had a video that was getting a lot of negativity, I wouldn't delete it. And when I say video, well, not delete it, I would delete comments or turn the comments off, which I did on my first viral video. The comments are off. People still find a way to comment on other videos about it. I'm like, girl, bye. But it isn't until this Ramadan that I started just like deleting the messages and deleting the comments, because as much as they infuriate me and I want to respond or I want to clap back or I want to say this or I really want to embarrass them, I don't anymore, because right now I'm like, oh, it's Ramadan, okay, I'm focused on protecting my peace. But I wonder if this is something I should do outside of Ramadan, because some things are just not worth, they're just not worth the conversation. And so yeah, it was interesting to see how they all handled it and dealt with those emotions. And I do feel like that could be helpful for a lot of Muslims on the internet who get a lot of weird comments and remarks. Alhamdulillah, now my stuff isn't really pushed to non-Muslims, and I do get a rare comment every once in a while from a non-Muslim, and it's really just ignorant, not necessarily like offensive. So they'll be very like quote unquote woke or liberal, and you know, be like, well, I don't understand. Like if I talk about like the experience dressing modestly as a curvy person, they'll be like, well, you know, I don't even understand why you have to cover up in the bushes, like stuff like that. But I mean, it's a reality for some people. If you pander to white people, that you know, like I said, that's not my experience on the internet. But hey, please, no, yeah, Muslim internet are, they're not well. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a lot of conflicting emotions because it's very like, huh? But realistically, like, especially if you are around a lot of white people, it's a benefit for me that I do not engage with the pale folk. Are you serious? All right, that mowing the lawn at almost 6:30. Yeah, my group comes in an hour. Okay. Um, yeah, I also go back and forth with these thoughts of like what I should do with them. But I'm now in the mindset of like my section of the internet is a safe space. TikTok, I don't have as much qualms about anymore, because literally I'm not on TikTok for a community. I'm on TikTok to get numbers, to get visibility, and to essentially turn that into people paying me on other platforms. Like that's all I'm on TikTok for, to be honest. It's weird. It's weird. In regards to, how did y'all feel about Sabrina and Hayat? I liked Hayat. I feel like he was very sweet. He was also from an spiritual religious family. I think his mom wasn't Muslim. I liked him. I think he was sweet. He was cool. I thought it was actually really adorable that he had anxiety. And then they showed that. It was, I think he was the only, I will say that Laila Sabreen did a good job kind of writing side characters. Like when I think about Farah's dad, and that, I don't want to talk too much about it because I literally, all I want to do is like slap shit out of my father. So I can't even engage. I'm sorry for I'm passing. Can't even engage with the fact that they made up. But I think it was beautiful to watch. And she was very real and open and raw with her dad about her issues with him. She's like, I'm not playing with you and your white wife. I'll get up out of here. I'll leave. But in regards to like Farah's dad, in regards to Hayat, in regards to who will it? I don't know, from Zakat, I can't say, because Afreen was dumb and Lucy was dumb and Asher was dumb and her parents were dumb. But I would definitely say that for Farah and Bree, their side characters, they had life, they had a personality, they had substance, and I really like that. So I like that we learned that Hayat, you know, he was nervous, and so when he was nervous or was having anxiety, he would like say a little joke. Like I thought that was really cute and adorable, and I love seeing soft Black boys specifically in books. I think that's really, really, really important. That's valid. Literally, I find myself sometimes that I'm on TikTok looking for negative comments, whether it's on my feed or somebody else's, because it's just inevitable. But I'm like, I don't got time, y'all. I'm screaming. I thought they were cute too, and this is where I wish Muslim authors like what would be more beneficial for the young Muslim populace reading your books instead of doing things? Okay, this is not including All My Rage because them, spoiler alert, them kissing and All My Rage didn't bother me. But I will say that, like, look, because like I said, they were traumatized. It's different rules for the oppressed people. I will say that for Muslim authors in situations like this, like Hayat was Muslim, and even in general, when you have Muslim girls like whatever, it's more impactful to teach them about spending time with each other in a halal way. Um, and I feel like instead of acting like it's okay to have a relationship with somebody who's not Muslim, or act like it's something that's like oppressive or restrictive, or oh my gosh, like I really like him, but like he's not, like we don't even see them have internal conflict about homeboy not being Muslim or whatever, or being in this relationship. But I think it would really be helpful to show, this is coming from experience, the fact that if your deen, if Islam is really important to you, your relationship with this person, no matter how much they respect it, it's only going to go to a certain extent because of that internal conflict that exists. And also it would, I feel like, be beneficial to show young Muslims, okay, you and Hayat, you like each other, you come from Muslim families, show your families being involved, show y'all going out as a family, show y'all getting to know each other in a halal setting. Like, she went to his house, there was a scene, I don't know if y'all peeped, there was a scene where she went to his house, he dropped her off or whatever, she was at his house, and she went upstairs to his room. Why? Why? I don't understand it. And nothing happened, alhamdulillah. Like, I was so nervous, but it would have been really nice just to show them on the couch watching TV. I don't know, while his mom was in the kitchen making dinner. Like, why? And I wouldn't say that with Laila Sabreen, it was a desire to be like non-Muslims. I think especially when you're Black American and Muslim, you're raised in Western society, in the way that like non-Black Muslims or non-Black American Muslims have another culture to get all of their resources from, or inspiration, or cultural rules or whatever from. Black American Muslims, all you have is Western culture. So I understand that for a lot of us, we internalize romance in the way that Western media shows it, because that's just what we've been around. I get it. But it just would have been so much more impactful. Period. If you want to interview me, let me know. I'm present. And oh yeah, they didn't have a home makeup sesh. They did just have a little peck. But I just wish that, like, it wasn't, at least in All My Rage, they were like, hold on, let's put a stop to this, because it's getting like, let's calm it down. That moment is important, because it's not saying that Muslim people don't get in situations where they're making out with somebody. It's not saying that Muslims don't commit zina, or Muslims don't have boyfriend and girlfriends. Like, Muslims, and there are Muslims that do everything, to be honest. But when you show that moment of them being like, this is haram, or I shouldn't be doing this, or there's a better way to do this, I feel like it encourages Muslim readers, young Muslim readers, to have critical thinking about, like, okay, even if you're in this predicament, let me fall back, let me think a little, you know what I mean? Like, let me relax. I would really love a moment where they're this close to kissing and then they don't, because like, oh, astaghfirullah, we can't do that. I'd eat that up. What? I'd eat it up. For example, it happened in Bridgerton. I'm not done watching Bridgerton, by the way. Did I tell y'all? But it happened in like part 1, because I'm filming or whatever. I'm editing the video. It happened in part, like, Anthony Craig was right. He was like, shh. Oh my god. Like, I eat that up. Like, there's other alternatives that give you the same energy that you're looking for. I'm not one, and listen, you'll never be able to please Muslim people. And I'm not one of those girls that's like, there's no way for you to interact with a guy without it being haram. And if you could tell, look at how successful Love from A to Z was. Look at how successful, Ulama Jalaluddin's books are. There's clearly an audience of people who are looking for halal romance, halal love. Listen, I'm reading this book about these Muslim people. I'll be reading this the other day. Like, there's really a place for us to have it all. And I feel like a lot of these Muslim authors, they be missing out on these opportunities because they want to be doing other stuff. We don't got to do that. You can still give us romance and them flirting and like all of that would be so cute as a young Muslim person, because it redefines, it's our new definitions of normal. You know what I mean? Like that this is what's normal for us in the dating world. It's not necessarily normal for you to be out here making out with homeboy, but y'all getting to know each other and your families being present and them being friends and like finding fun ways and like going out with your younger siblings, like that is important. We need that. I want to see more of that. Like I said, it was a pack. And it wasn't me. But it was the fact that there was no conversation, especially I was really surprised that Bree didn't bring it up at all. Because I'm like, girl, the way you go hard in the paint about being Muslim. Like, I'm like, girl, you're not demon. What's right now? What's tea? Why you let that man? Girl, a kiss on the cheek. There's why did it just felt out of place. It wasn't something how like in All My Rage, it felt like, yeah, it was inevitable, it was gonna happen, it felt natural. Y'all didn't have to kiss. He could have been corny as hell and kissed you on the hand. You know what I mean? I'm screaming. Period. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. I love them, please. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And then even that moment where who was it? Who was it? Yeah, when she's like, "Oh, I went on a date or I went out with Hyatt," and the girls are like, "Ooh." That how beautiful of a moment would it have been for them to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that y'all are getting to know each other. But remember to, keep it halal. Remember to, like encouraging her, especially this friendship between Muslim women, encouraging her to explore this relationship with him in a way that's halal and that's pleasing to Allah. You know what I mean? Like that, to read about that would have been powerful, would have been impactful. Versus, even though, like I said, Muslims do everything. We don't necessarily need to see all of that in a book. You know, I think about that scene so often. I think about it all the time. It was so adorable and so realistic. And I feel like I know that I wasn't the only person. I was like, oh, wow, there are like so many different ways that you can date as Muslims and court as Muslims that are still fun, that don't feel like stuffy, like sitting down with your dad at dinner, like eating sambusa. Like, you know what I mean? Girl, you'll be waiting for a while now. I just started it. Mm, right. Right. So that's the only thing how I felt about it. There was just a lot of missed opportunities, and you can still give romance without haram is basically what I'm trying to say, or crossing that boundary, especially when it's not necessary. Like I just didn't feel like we needed to see that. I expected it from Farah. Farah wasn't even. I'm screaming. Honestly, are y'all dead? You're serious? En serio? Like this is a joke. Anyway. Yes. In a way, yeah. Like you really just have to have. You just can't really, really be alone with someone, with a guy. Like that's really. There's really no other stipulations. A lot of people will say that you have to have your dad with you. I think that's a cultural interpretation, but that's just he's gotta get one. Okay. Anyway, um, yeah. You miss. I had a whole reenactment about how basically Ladan brought up how in another life other Muslim authors would have wrote Zakat and Asher being together, and I really enacted it. I gave y'all an in person, in real life response. Um, okay, final thoughts because it's 6:38 and my group comes in at 7:32. Um, and I do want to get some more editing done on this Bridgerton video because if I lose momentum, it's never gonna happen. And I'm trying to get it out before Eid. I gotta get part 1 and 2 out. I didn't finish filming part 2, and I have to get both these videos. Listen. Okay, so final thoughts about You Truly Assumed. Um, um, Exactly. How, and I feel like that's so cute. I feel like that's so adorable. And Auntie Angie talks about this all the time. Like Muslims date in groups, whether it's going to the MSA events, going to Islamic conferences, going to this, going to this halal place after the masjid. Like that's what we do. And so like it really could have been a moment where maybe all the young people, or her Hayat and and her younger sister and his younger brother, who knew each other and they used to talk to each other, like it was so easy to get right that I just feel like why do we have to do this? I'm screaming. um but yeah, my overall thoughts, my rating for You Truly Assumed, I gave it a 3 star. I think it was very mid and not in an offensive way. Like mid being like there were parts that I really, really resonated with. And me at 17, especially when it comes to like the dating romance stuff, I probably would have given this a 4.5 stars at 17, 18, just because of the space I was in. Absolutely. I was somebody who I was, and I feel like I'm still on my journey with practicing, as we all are, but I definitely wasn't practicing as much as I am now. But I've never negated my Muslim identity. I've always been unapologetically Muslim. And I feel like as a teenager, that's when my Iman was growing and like the spark of my relationship with Allah. So I definitely, like, for the sake of teenage Tahira. And the fact that, like I said, it's not a bad book, I give it 3 stars. I would give this to my sister to read with, I would probably like read it with her and explaining certain things. Like I wouldn't want her to just read about Farah having a boyfriend and Zakat and Haya kissing Sabria, and like leaving that alone. But I definitely feel like it's something that is necessary, and I think the conversations were they were well done. And to be honest, the fact that we feel like it's juvenile is a good thing. It's supposed to be YA. So yeah, I give it a 3 star. I really hope Laila Sabreen continues to write Muslim literature. I hope that the reviews that I've seen, I haven't seen any really crazy negative reviews. I hope that encourages her to write more religious characters and to get more diversity in regards to her Muslim representation, and not just like racially, but like I said, spiritually. And I think that she has a lot of potential, a lot of promise for her first book. I think she should be really proud of herself. The impact of it, I feel like, is really important, and I hope that this leads to so many other Muslim people, even some of us writing more Muslim books. Even though I'm an NA girl right now because I'm a young adult, like I'm a new adult. I think the book was a lot. It was impactful, and I think it was needed and it was necessary. Like I said, this terrorist trip, girl, we could have left that out. There's a lot of things we could have left out, and there was a lot of things that could have been written better. Yeah, 3 stars for me. Let me know if your ratings have changed from the beginning. Are you adding a star? Are you minusing a star? 0.5, 0.35, 0.25, 0.75. I don't know. But let me know what's T. Yeah, these ones I keep up, which I have to remind myself. Potentially, it depends on how I feel after Tarawih, because I'm supposed to be going to Tarawih tonight. Inshallah, I get there. But yeah, potentially. And it may, if I do go live, it'll be at 9. It'll be from like 9 to 11. Aha! Look at this. Mera. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. A Ramadan miracle. You know what I mean? Anything can happen. Precisely. No, this one isn't gonna. Yeah, this isn't gonna get deleted. I'll be here. It's gonna stay here. It's gonna be present. How do you? So you didn't finish the book, my love. 3.65. Why are you making up numbers? What are we? Yo, what are we doing? Why? Yo. Me too. I'm glad that I could really, help change people's minds. It's the lawyer genes in me from the decade I wanted to be a lawyer. You know what I mean? I'm very persuasive. Okay. I promise you. I promise you. Damn 3.6 girl. Chat anyway. Please, she's sick. Like, okay. 3.53. Okay. If you don't know already, we've been talking about it this entire time. I literally brought it. That's not my bookshelf, but it might as well be my bookshelf for the time being. I brought it off of my little shelf tingy majigger to bring up the fact that our next book for the month of April, that a lot of us have already read and loved and cried over, and like, I'm gonna reread it. I promise you, I'm gonna reread it. Somebody remind me to do a reading sprint before Ramadan is over. I'm definitely gonna reread it. All My Rage by Sabreen. Ah! I love this book. Um, I read it already. 5 out of 5 stars. I want to get another copy, but I'm gonna calm it down. I'm gonna calm it down. I felt like I kind of flew through it, and so I want to reread it just in case I missed something. This is our next book for April for the month of Ramadan. Um, Also, our other book, which is like an honorable mention, I talked about this a few months ago in the Discord server. The Simple Sita by, let me get his name. Hold on. Why is my internet off? That's interesting. The Simple Sita is by. Oh, he's kind of cute. Um, Ustad Asim Khan. We're also going to be reading that. I didn't necessarily want to have a religious spiritual book. A, because we're all in different places, and I didn't want to pressure anybody to read it. And also, we have non-Muslim readers in the Iqra trials. And also, I feel like the spiritual Muslim community, like the ulama and the whoever that does like spiritual writing, they have a lot of support. I personally feel like, not in the way that the Muslim authors breaking into the fiction genre, mainstream publishing need. So yeah, we're also reading the Simple Sita, which is basically like it sounds. It's like a simple, really easy to understand version of the life of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Isatu, who is usually here but is not here, she's already started it and she really liked it. Mufti Bank did the foreword on it, and a lot of people have really liked it. It was recommended to me by Amir, the creator of the social media page Muslim. So I'm really excited to read that as well. Mine is in the mail. Inshallah, it gets here soon. Okay. Period. Don't do that because no, you're gonna be so mad because watch, you're gonna read it and fall in love with it. Like, first of all, Salahudin, oh me, are you not? Please. I'm traumatized, honestly. It's an audiobook. Let me see if it's on script. Sarah J. Maas is writing another Throne of Glass novella. Cut it out. You see, and I should never mention her. God damn it. So it's not on Goodreads. I mean, on Scribd. But what? I don't know why I type in All My Rage, and it just brings up some books that are just not halal core. You know what I mean? Like it's just very questionable titles. Right. Um yeah, the Discord is gonna be nuts for the next few weeks while everybody is reading All My Rage. It is dark. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I finished it, after crying on Instagram, I then spent the next like hour yelling, screaming, crying, sour by Olivia Rodrigo. Like it was a lot, but I felt light afterwards. And I said this on my Instagram story, and my Instagram, where I did a review about the book on my page. It made me ask myself, what am I doing with my rage? And so even reading the book and experiencing whatever emotions that came with it was me processing rage that I had or that I felt like was gone or that resurfaced. So yeah, it's hard. It's a hard book to read, but you're gonna get through it. Yeah. Yo. That would have been so cute. I'm like, oh my god. I would have ate that up, please. It's a YA book with adult themes. That's how the best way I would describe it. Can y'all shut up? Sorry. I didn't even, the audiobook is not on. What's it called? I'm so upset. Honestly, this is how you know I'm from the hood because I'm not understanding like why I was so into the fact that he was a drug dealer. Anyway, I just feel like it gave him so much aggression, like a little bit of. First of all, has somebody fan casted Salahuddin and Noor? I need one pronto, like right now, please. Period, bro. Also, honorable mention for Mispa. Loved her. Loved her. Um, if you guys haven't watched my TikTok or reel, and I actually posted it as a short, I'm remembering that shorts exist, so be happy. I just shared my Muslim my Ramadan TBR. So yeah, I'll be rereading All My Rage, and I'm gonna start this in Fusida when I get it, inshallah. And I also just started Reclaim Your Heart by Yasmin Mujahid, and it's actually really easy to read. The book is so big, and the text is like it's very straight to the point, which I'm happy about because I have a lot of books that I want to read this Ramadan. So hopefully I can get through that. Apparently, she also has another book coming out. So yeah, I also still need to reread Secrets of Divine Love with the journal. That's gonna destroy me. Oh my gosh, we're on our second week of our second week of Ramadan. That's crazy. I love that. Please. What twist? Are you talking about at the trial? Is that the twist? Yo, I gotta love Smile. I think she's watching from the beginning, bro. Right, right, right. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining this live stream. I had a lot of fun. I feel like we're finally getting into like the groove for the Iqra trials. The next, did I say what we're reading next month? I said we're reading this month. I have to look on our thingy. I think we're reading. Hold on, let me get it together. I don't want to give y'all. I don't want to lie to y'all. Mm-mm. We're reading. Why did it do this? That's so ugly. Ya Allah. Oh, I forgot. I switched You Truly Assumed in All My Rage. I was originally going to read All My Rage for March, but we switched it. April, May. What are we? Oh, we're reading This Woven Kingdom by Sabreen Tahir. Me by Tahira Mafi. I'm shook. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hold on. I don't even know why my Notion is being so ugly right now, and it really just changed all my books around, and it's like freaking me out. Um, what's that book by Chelsea Abdullah that's coming out? The Stardust something Beef, I think. I think I'm going to read that for June. But yes, so I'm going to repeat it again. Our books for April are All My Rage by Sabreen Tahir, and then Simple Sita is an honorable mention. That's if you want to read it. Our book for May, I'm telling you guys early, is going to be This Woven Kingdom by Tahira Mafi. Hellfire, honestly. Like, he's disgusting. Me. Will I ever be okay? Will I ever know peace again? Never. I will just be a husk. Please. And also a reminder that Azanta from Azanta Reads will be joining us for All My Rage. You already know, like, I'm very excited to have her on here. And then I think either for May or June, I'm gonna have Miriam from Fire Nation Rules. Miriam Reads, whatever her 30 million usernames are. I'm gonna have her. I'm very excited. It's gonna be a fun time. Girl, do you know who you're talking to? Please. Me and uh Tell Me Yemi are mutuals. I'm just waiting for her. Waiting for that third book, waiting for the movie, period. I think I have reading vlogs on Children of Blood and Bone. Thank you. Thank you so much. Because it really has been. Year one was kind of chaotic. Oh my gosh, Samaya, I have to have you back. Me and Samaya's live stream, don't watch it. It was so chaotic. No shade to Samaya, but like it was so chaotic. But yeah, I'm outside. We're here. You know, thumbnails is cute. We're consistent. We're giving to the girls. Maybe next year I'll show up to every live stream with like makeup on and look done up. For now, this is what you get. Yeah, I'm very, very, very excited. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love it here. I'm so proud of you. Some of y'all can't say the same. You know who you are. I'm not gonna embarrass you because it's on bum, but you know, the slackers, you already know who you are. No, we have to read it together. That's the point. We have to experience things together. But I did share the list actually. If you scroll really really far up, like in the Iqra Trials Discord server, it'll be there. But I shared the screenshot of the list at least when I was still putting it together. Most things haven't changed except for the fact that I just took off Queen of Tiles and put the Start of Thief by Chelsea Abdullah because I just heard about it. But I think that's about it. Yeah, Tell Me sitting there, she wrote the movie, didn't write the third book. I'm about to DM her and be like, thank you. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'll see you guys in a few weeks. Inshallah, I'll see you tomorrow. Keep your notifications on. I'll let y'all know on the Discord if I actually go live. I hope you guys have an amazing iftar. I hope you eat mad good food. If you're reading All My Rage, pace yourself. You're gonna be fine. It's okay. Yeah. Love you guys. See you when I see you. Bye.